My point is that, funny enough, the more perfect someone is at one aspect of a fighting game, usually that just implies there are going to be weaknesses somewhere else. If someone is teching every single throw, by definition, they're more likely to get throw baited. If someone is anti-airing every single jump, by definition, they are more likely to fail things that aren't anti-airing, right? You need to take their perfection at one aspect of a game and don't go, oh shit, I guess I can't do this anymore. I go, because fighting games are always built around this is where we thank God that modern fighting games are like well-designed, tight packages, right? Because fighting games are built around rock, paper, scissors. If you are really, really good at throwing rock, your ass is gonna get destroyed by paper. And you can't be 100% good at throwing rock and 100% good at throwing paper. It's simply mentally impossible. Because actually, no, it's simply fundamentally impossible because you can't tech every single throw and guess every single throw bait because throw teching is unreactable and throw baits are unreactable. So you are guessing every single time, and there's no OS between throw and throw baits. That's the whole point. All right, folks, we are back doing more replay review here again. The backlog is shrinking, and I actually know it to be true because we're almost at only a month behind. Where again, not too long ago, we were like over 2 months behind, so we'll take it. For you guys watching this right now, it's probably closer to a month and a half, because it's like October 4th, probably like, I don't know, like November 30th or something like that for you guys. No, the backlog's... Anyway, point being, for me, the backlog's shrinking, okay? You just have to believe me. Enough discussion on that, though. We have Speedy here with a Charlotta replay versus Katalina. So what do you put here? For context, I was playing a pretty long set against this Katalina. This was one of the later matches. I usually play quite wildly, but this Katalina forced me to play a more honest game. She anti-aired my demon flips and jumps constantly, punished my random EXDPs on minus frames, etc. Okay, that's, I mean, kind of definitely what you have to do against Charlotta. I know it's not for the Katalina, but still, like, keeping Charlotta grounded, if you can help it, is the best way to deal with her, because she will just try and jump and use her jump arc and stuff like that to run you over, but okay. The game felt quite hard to play on offense and defense because of it. More specific things I struggled with were her light wall. Oh baby. It will block Shining Onslaught, yeah, the Blanca ball, for a full punish and also eat Brave counters. The backdash follow-up made her hard to contest, and she mixed in the forward dash to threaten throw sometimes. Yeah, I mean, this is just one of it went from being kind of a joke to just like one of the best 5 U's in the entire game in the Versuja patch, so that's fair, it's not just you. Getting out of the corner, her anti-air stopped jumping out, and her pressure felt hard to contest. Getting in during neutral, ball got stuffed out, running up at 6XL felt hard, and no jumping because of anti-airs. Yeah, okay. I still think, we'll look at it, but just immediately from the way that you're typing this, people can be good at anti-airs and still fail to do them, and it's mostly in the sense of, like, if someone's just sitting there waiting to anti-air, then they're not looking out for other things. It's the exact same logic of, like, in offense. The more impossible someone is to throw, like, I had this with a match when I was playing Eustace recently, right? Where it was a Grimnir, I think, who, like, they teched literally every single throw attempt I ever tried on them, no matter what the timing was. So I'm like, oh, okay, like, this person is, like, really hard committing to that, like, delay tech. So what that means, the more impossible they are to throw, the easier they are to shimmy. And I shimmied that Grimnir, like, 3 or 4 times in a row after that, once I had that realization, right? Same kind of thing. If they're really looking out for anti-airs at all times, that means you can maybe just, like, straight up dash up from full screen in 6XL. Like, I do this a lot with Ladiva, who's much slower than Charlotta, right? I jump a lot. People get very, very ready to, like, sit there and wait to anti-air me or sit there and wait to stop the lariats, so I just run at them from full screen and dash L. And then once they're looking out for that, then suddenly their anti-airs start to slip a bit. You can't do everything perfectly, right? I know we haven't even gotten to the video, but I'm just saying, the way this is typed, like, no jumping because of anti-airs, this almost, it sounds a little bit too defeatist, right? If someone is good at anti-airs, you don't go, guess I can't jump, you go, okay, how do I get them to fuck them up? Some people aren't good at anti-airs, so you don't even have to do that step. You just go, well, I guess they're gonna fuck it up anyway, but I'm just gonna jump, look at we ball. As a general thing, my strength of the player lies in offense, but I could be wrong and I would love feedback on it too. But I still can't do proper delay button offense, and I rely more on shimmies and Charlotta's fast jump to bait throws. Okay. I usually do my own replay reviewing, but against this player I was truly stumped. I really could not see a way out, so I decided to get some different eyes on this game for help. Okay. It's a very introspective message there for sure. I love when it's detailed as well, right? It gives me a bit of direction as far as what to try and look for throughout the course of the match. But yeah, I think learning to play against very fundamentally solid players is really important, right? Because you're gonna encounter these more and more as you get higher. People you can't just, like, cheap out, right? And it becomes a matter of trying to mental style. If, for example, you probably do know that you're minus on block here. Real quick before we get started. Now I've had enough preamble already, but this is the thing I say before every single replay review. As always, when you're reviewing your replays and you're stumped and you're not sure where to go, where to pause and look for deeper analysis. When you get hit, when you lose your turn, These are great places to pause and go, why did that happen? And kind of like try and draw patterns throughout the set. Because if you never get hit, you never lose your turn, you will obviously win by default. You're never going to have that happen consistently, but you can at least try to minimize it. It's a good place to start, right? Also, as far, I mean, the Speedy's already got the right idea here for sure, but as far as aggressor and defender, hello, Lactu. Aggressor and defender in different matchups, right? Who wants to close the distance, who wants to keep the distance? Obviously, Katalina is a very defensively minded character. Good buttons, like one of these defensive Shoto type characters. Like her, like Gita, Lucilius does this to an extent. 2B kind of is this in some ways, though it depends very heavily on who she's up against. Charlotta obviously needs to go in here. So I do like the round start Blanca ball. You are minus though, right? Some Charlottas do like to RPS this. Like they'll go like minus on block into either match or DP, but that actually is just like pretty bad RPS for you risk reward wise, right? Because yeah, this counter hit starter should be, honestly probably should have been even a little bit more damage than that, but that is still less damage than you would do to them if you hit them with a DP, right? Oh, okay. How'd you get hit here? You just started dashing and got 668. Oh, okay, yeah. The startup of your Blanca ball got hit out. They kind of just like got a. This is also deeper into a long set too. So I'm gonna try and keep that in mind as far as like some things may have been reads based on habits. Yeah, so what this Katalina is doing right now, good, well done. What this Katalina is doing right now is like kind of the right thing for them to do, right? In the sense that like, Kat has way bigger buttons than Charlotta. So when you're running offense in the corner, why even go up and do like the regular strike throw stuff when you can just space Charlotta out and hit her from a place where she can't hit you? But this is really good to like catch out the backdash there with neutral skip is very solid for sure. You have to wait for those gaps where they're being a little bit too passive and like try to just jump out of them. It's not a great situation, but that's why you're in the corner. That's why it's bad in the first place. Oh, okay, preemptive brave counter. I'm seeing. I like big buttons, and I cannot lie. Katalina players be like C-dub. Oh, I mean, yeah, that's just. I mean, this is mostly because you preemptively brave countered, but yeah, I mean, the fact that you died. I mean, I guess the fact that you died here because she had a super isn't like that weird, but the fact that you also got carried corner to corner while it happened. This is not even the best way. Kat could have done that for 50 meter, I think. I don't think that was even the. I'm pretty sure that was not the optimal way to do that. They could have done that for 50 less meter and done more damage as well, if I understand Kat correctly. Kat combos still feel unreal to me. Yeah, she's got like Versuja combos, but she's just, she's like way faster and like everything else than Versuja. I like the punishes on the minus on block enchanted lands. So, quick thing, right? This is very, I talked this before. This is very important now with Katalina, especially because they made her M Fireball a missile. With fireballs like this, you really want to, what's going on, Rain? I'm doing well, hope you're doing well as well. This set made me feel nothing against Kat, she no longer surprises me, fair enough. With fireballs like this, the more, like, when you block these, so you can't have two fireballs out at the same time, and actually most fireballs cooldowns don't even start coming back until the first fireball is fully, like, despawned off the screen. So blocking these fireballs like this makes it so that you can rapid fire spam these. You're like, what can I do? The answer is you're not supposed to block these. You have to spot dodge or roll these. When the fireball whiffs, it takes way longer until they can fire out another fireball. It's a really big difference, actually, especially when you're this close. It's like a full second of a difference between how often she can fire these off. So you really want to be spot dodging those fireballs and not blocking them like that. Because if you block them, she's literally just plus on block forever, especially with how fast they made Katalina's M Fireball if she wants to use that at different spacings, right? You have to spot dodge those. You have to spot dodge or roll those. I mean, honestly, if you had, for most of these distances, I'm pretty sure, if you had rolled this fireball, I'm pretty sure you just punish her. Like, you can straight up get a punish on this. I'm quite certain. Like, roll into far M or something is probably a combo. So that's one thing for sure. This cat is doing a lot of, like fireball spam into 66H, but the fireball spam's fake. You're getting zoner checked there. Besides the fact that it saves you chip, but it's important for several other reasons. To be spot dodging or otherwise making the fireballs whiff rather than blocking them. Okay, sure. Oh, god, I really didn't think you were gonna win there. I guess, yeah, her fireball is a little bit slower than your Blanca ball. Yeah, this cat is also teching, like throw teching everything, right, so far. So definitely, you wanna start run up back dashing this person a little bit more. That's where you test your reactions in training mode, so you know how far you have to be to dodge it. Are you talking about with fireballs? You can usually dodge them on reaction, even like almost point blank if you look at the Katalina, right? Like even at that distance, it was probably about 20 frames, right? Worst case, you can hard call out a spot dodge. Like if you're at that distance and you hard call out and you just like spot dodge as a hard call out, they probably can't punish you because they probably weren't ready for that. If you spam it too much, then sure. But you can react to the fireballs from surprisingly close. Because yeah, see how like she has that whole like she holds her arm in first. Fireballs are given like a pretty hefty startup for that reason. Oh, nice use of the 5U right there. You've got your own worse version of her thing, basically. Yeah, trying to press after your minus frames is I know it's like kind of Charlotta kind of has to do that sometimes, but does Cat Shield only have armor against one hit? I believe so. Yes, multi-hits will send her to hell. Yeah, you got shimmy. So see, this cat's shimmying you, but you're not shimmying the cat, right? Yeah. Okay. So I have a couple of ideas that are coming to mind here, but I just want to see. I'm gonna watch the other game first and see if anything else comes up. I think overall you're not doing this. You're not playing this too badly. It's just that there are certain aspects of this that are missing. Got a DP in Katalina's face from now on. I believe so. Don't quote me on that. Lab it out first. But I'm pretty sure they like multi-hit fireballs. I think I've had Eustace EX fireball like go through her light wall. I think. Okay. Oh, Lynx, huh? I don't think I knew that. Some pretty nice corner carry yourself, of course. It's a little bit less damage than she would have done, but still. Charlotta with light wall sounds absolutely devious. Give it to her. I mean, Charlotta doesn't. She needs something. I don't know. I don't think it's Cat 5U, but I wouldn't mind her having a little bit of something. Charlotta has mini light wall. She has really bad light wall. Yeah, and they did buff it this patch. Oh, okay. I'm checked. Unfortunate. I mean, unfortunately, the answer to that one really is just react, right? But oh well. There's no super strong analytical advice there. Besides, just, you gotta spot dodge those, man. When you're on one brave point, you should definitely have it higher on your mental stack too, because that is when it'll just straight up kill you if it lands. But yeah, that is just unfortunately one of them just react forehead moments. Cat has so much time to run up after that U fireball. I'm jealous. Yeah. You're talking about the sets in a crumple, right? Nice. Get grabbed, comma nerd. Yo, Tengu Tez, thanks for the follow, man. Good brave counter. Sure, yeah, why not? It's kind of a risk at that point, but run up throw is a decent throw bait as well. You've done that once already. If you don't want to shimmy, like Charlotta, definitely her jump is way faster. Yeah, okay. There's really so the cat is very fundamentally solid, right? But I'll tell you a couple things, right? One of the things I already kind of talked about before we even got into the replay, and I think it actually, because yeah, you're right, you basically never jumped, and I understand it's because the cat was anti-airing you very well. But you have to realize that as Charlotta, demon flip and jump is like, that's your thing. That's the only thing that you do, right? Like really, like for real. That the thing that is like special about Charlotta, what makes Charlotta a character, is that her jump arc is real quick and she has a lot of really annoying cross-up aerials and stuff, and that demon flip exists, right? If someone is good against those, that you can't stop doing it. You have to instead figure out, okay, how do I play around to make my, like, the tool central to my character useful again? Same way, for example, if someone is, like, guessing grab a lot or backdashing a lot on Ladiva, I don't go, oh, guess I just simply can't command grab anymore. I go, okay, how do I get it so that the thing they are doing to stop me is less desirable for them so that I can go back to doing the thing my character is built around? And again, in this case, it will be, if you're always jumping at them, they're always 2Hing you, right? Maybe it's mixing in a little bit of different stuff, right? Some like run up neutral jump, some run up empty jump, right? Maybe like, regular old run up jumps, regular like run up demon flip, maybe, run up into full continue running at them as they're waiting there for the anti-air and 6XL. There are lots of different ways to change up your air approach, even down to this timing, right? Like maybe sometimes you dash up from full screen and immediately, like as part of one fluid motion, dash up and jump. Sometimes you dash up and wait a second and then jump. Sometimes you super jump, right? I actually ended up learning that because of the video we talked about not being scared of command grab. Yeah, like if your character has like the strongest tool that you have, you can't let your opponents condition you off of it, right? If they're good at dealing with it, that's unfortunate for you. But the answer to that can't be, I guess I'll stop using it. It's like, okay, well, I have to find some way to make it so that I can use it again. And that's where you have to get creative. So yeah, you're right. You didn't jump or demon flip like at all here, and that's a big part of why you lost, honestly. Because again, that is your thing. Like that is what Charlotta does. Thanks for replay review yesterday, Brick. No worries, man. It's tough with those like hyper zoomer, like modern reaction looking ass people. Like it's tough for sure. But you have the right idea for sure. Anyway, the other things, though, that I haven't mentioned so far, well, the one thing is definitely, when you're getting fireball spammed out like that, please spot dodge or roll or jump it. Don't just block them. It's just, they're gonna do it over and over and over again, and actually, I don't even know if the frame data is gonna benefit you, that you can actually get out of that in some way if you don't roll or spot dodge. If something ever feels like it's just unbeatable, like if they're, like, you know, this fireball into 668 stuff they were doing, was it in this game? They were doing it at some point, I forget where now exactly. But like, they were doing fireball into 668, fireball, 668, fireball, 668, fireball, 668. That feels like it's like you can't do anything about that, right? And usually when something feels that overpowered, it's because you're missing a universal system mechanic that beats the shit out of that option. In this case, you weren't rolling, right? From that distance, them fireballing like that is like straight up punishable. A lot of fireballs, it might not look like it because they're used in neutral so often, where like recovery frames, like neutral from like distance, where you don't really feel recovery frames. But like, go to training mode and like do some fireballs. A lot of them are like 50 frame animations total, right? So if you roll through them at any sort of close distance, you usually can kill the zoner behind them. The other thing, I mentioned all of these, I'm just gonna, I want to sum it up at the end, is on your, so, you know, you've been going through all this, you've gone through the slog, amazing. Now, you get to the point where you have this Katalina in the corner, and you don't really get that much out of it usually, because you are missing, again, 1/3 of that sort of baseline offensive triangle, right? You were doing a decent amount of frame trapping, you were doing a decent amount of throwing, but you were not doing any real throw baiting except for the one jump right here. Now, it might have just been the case that, you know, these two sets, like this, where was it exactly? I think it was right here? Yeah, right? That was like the only throw bait you did, and you didn't even like really capitalize off it too hard. I would really say, I mean, probably Charlotta can, in a lot of times, get a punish on this. Still, though, like, run up backdash is probably the easiest way for you to do that. If the jump's gonna work, then make sure you get the conversions. But this Katalina was teching every single throw you ever tried on her, basically. And again, just like with the anti-airs, in a weird way, the more perfectly someone does something... Can I give you guys a really obtuse example that, like, maybe 3 of you are gonna get? It's not that obtuse, it's a popular anime, but it's more of a throwaway scene from said popular anime. Do you remember... Has anyone here watched Hunter x Hunter? If you don't, I'm gonna give you a more human way of explaining this in a second. But there's a scene in Hunter x Hunter where Hisoka is fighting a dude called Castro, and essentially Castro has created this, like, Nen is the power system there. It's you know, ki, chakra, whatever you want to call it, right? And he's created this ability where he can create a perfect clone of himself, and it's meant in world that, like, it's really hard to use Nen for really advanced applications, right? So like, making a perfect clone of yourself that is real, like, can hit people just like you, is like this really crazy thing, right? But spoiler alert, I guess, for this, like, side battle for a character who's usually invincible throughout most of the series' run, Hisoka wins that fight, right? And the reason he cites for why Castro lost is because he put so much effort into, like, really nailing down this like, incredibly impressive ability that he, like, lost his ability to do anything else. He used up all his memory capacity making the clone, and now he's, like, forgotten how to use Nen for anything more basic, anything more fundamental, anything more important, right? Now, if that made sense to you, then you're pogging right now. If that didn't, my point is that, funny enough, the more perfect someone is at one aspect of a fighting game, usually that just implies there are going to be weaknesses somewhere else. If someone is teching every single throw, by definition, they're more likely to get throw baited. If someone is anti-airing every single jump, by definition, they are more likely to fail things that aren't anti-airing, right? You need to take their perfection at one aspect of a game and don't go, oh shit, I guess I can't do this anymore. I go, because fighting games are always built around this is where we thank God that modern fighting games are, like, well-designed, tight packages, right? Because fighting games are built around rock, paper, scissors. If you are really, really good at throwing rock, your ass is gonna get destroyed by paper. And you can't be 100% good at throwing rock and 100% good at throwing paper. It's simply mentally impossible. Because actually, no, it's simply fundamentally impossible, because you can't tech every single throw and guess every single throw bait, because throw teching is unreactable and throw baits are unreactable. So you are guessing every single time, and there's no OS between throw and throw baits. That's the whole point. All that being said, the same idea applies for the anti-airs and for the throws here. I'm reminded of when some SF players were coaching another pro using Honda fighting someone who PP'd, perfect parried every headbutt. They told him to heavy punch instead of headbutt and mess with the reactions. Yes, exactly. The more perfect someone is, we talked about this with Gyokron too. This is like a different instantiation of what we talked about with Gyokron yesterday, where the Siegfried was anti-airing every single unisonic he did, like the frame it came out. And I'm like, oh, okay, this guy's a fucking monster. But this is actually an opportunity. because what you can do is like new empty jump, and the guy just DPs because he's so good at reacting. He sees any movement, immediate DP. But now he just whiffed it, right? Or like jump M Unisonic for that delay. Now, of course, Siegfried DP probably still would have hit that actually, but depending on where you are. But like, you know, M Unisonic for that delay, he DPs, he whiffs, you kill him, right? Or like empty jumps or back jumps. Use like them being so perfect is actually a flaw in a lot of different ways, right? That's why you see, even at the highest level, people get hit by throws. People get hit by throw baits. It's because it is actually incorrect to allocate 100% of your memory and your mental stack to one thing. It'll make you really good at not getting hit by that one thing, but there's 9 options, so you can't do that. Anyways, let's move on to the next one here. I hope that was helpful, Speedy, because again, like, this is a very common feeling once you get to like that more like intermediate high level starts play. You start running into people who just like, it feels like you just can't do anything against them. But in reality, that's more of an opportunity than it is a weakness, right? All right, so Ingstrom here says, normally I don't post replay review stuff, but I wanted to make an exception this time. Also, I got a little animated there. I'm gonna turn on my AC. It's warm in here, man. I don't post replay review stuff, but I wanted to make an exception this time. Yggdrasil mentioned what I need to work on, but this time I want to get a different perspective from other people if you guys don't mind. As long as I'm included in other people, I'm down as well. Everyone is always being very helpful there too. Let's see. You nailed down everything I ended up having to learn for sure. Okay, yeah, sorry. I know I got to it a little bit late, but hopefully if anyone was in if anyone was in that same situation that you are, if anyone is in there right now, then you know, hopefully that was useful for them the same way that it would have been useful for you a month ago. My bad, dog. It was kind of scary how accurate it was, not gonna lie. That makes me feel good, certainly. I'm doing my best out here to try and really think through it and come up with some good answers. All right, so oh, this is tough. Okay, so Ingstrom does this thing where they just play like casual matches with like master players a lot, right? Good coaching is always Big B, thanks to him. Appreciate it. This is a tough one though, man. You're fighting Senpai Spiders 2B on Ferry? I mean, okay, so there's a lot of problems here, and it's not just that it's Senpai Spider, who's obviously very, very good at the video game. It's more that like 2B is also sort of the nightmare of every zoner. Ferry already, like the #1 strategy for Ferry, if you can manage it, is just jump at her forehead. Thanks for the review, no worries, man. I mean, she has a double jump and a JH, and I honestly don't know how Ferry is supposed to go about this matchup, but we'll see. I mean, you do want to play defensive. You have to play defensive. You have to keep, like, you are actually one of the only characters in the entire game with normals bigger than 2B. So, like, you have to play defensive and keep her out, but I'm a little bit skeptical of your ability to do so. Let's see here. This is also, I will say, like, there might be a lesson here as well. I've talked to Ingstrom about this a couple of times before, where, like, if you fight someone where the skill gap is a little bit too large, I'm not entirely sure how much you're going to learn from it. Granted, I mean, Senpai's probably not exactly tryharding here, but still, right? There is certainly a point where playing people better than you is worthwhile, but, like, at a certain point, it might just be a little bit, you know, I'm not sure how much you're going to be able to learn from that, right? Okay, so yeah, got a walk low there, sure. I like the delay teching. Oh, nice switch up there. Or maybe, no, I think that was maybe they were trying to delay, and they delayed a little bit too hard there. Can 2B just tether when she sees GG in neutral? Yep. I must kill this Ferry player, Senpai Spider? Maybe. Oh, God. Yep. I mean, so you're trying so far, right? You're trying to keep him out. I might watch this twice, honestly. It's only 3 minutes. I might watch this twice. Just because, like, this, I'm gonna have to, like, this is a tough one, man. I'm glad we had, like, such a slam dunk in the first one, where I had, like, a really good idea of what was happening, because this one's tough. I'm gonna do my best to be helpful here, but that's good. Yeah, definitely want to do the side swap there, put her in the corner. Okay. Once again, good. I like the poking, right? You're holding the space. Can you, no, probably not. I was like, can you just Yukish Benst him there? But probably not. Solid. I honestly don't know even about spending the Brave point there. I guess it does give you the Oki, but I don't know. I feel like it's getting 2B off of you is so important here. By the way, he is simply not respecting anything you're doing. Like, he has jumped or mashed on wake up like 7 times in a row. This dude's trying to kill you, man. And good job meeting him. Your meaties are on point. You are punishing him for that over and over. Good. I mean, it's a good example. Like, again, you still do want to play defensively and keep 2B out. It's just a question of how viable is that going to be for you to do, really. He baited the Brave counter, sure. No fear in the staring contest. Not, I guess, does the side, is the side swap good here? Yeah, it's fine. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah, I'm not so certain about the expenditure of Brave points on Raging Strike. It just feels like BC is going to be so important for you, right? It's hard to say. Yeah, like 3 Brave points to 0 right now is just such a miserable place for you to be. Ah, yeah. You had a decent idea with that roll. You're just a little bit too late. Oh man, the dash is too. It never ceases to amaze me just how fast this dash is. How is she in your face already, man? Look at this. It's like I got jump scared by that. Look at that shit. Like that's like unironically that's a reaction check, right? We did the math on this before. It's like 30 frames for her to cross the whole screen or something. Like that's like a for real reaction check. Her running at you like that. Like it's that fast, right? Yeah, I'm gonna watch this again. I said I might watch it twice. I am gonna watch it twice. I'm gonna try and like really try and get a better idea of what exactly was going wrong here. I think you played this honestly, like considering everything. I think you're playing this fine. I do have one point I want to bring up for sure, which I already have, but I want to see if there's anything else that pops up to me. Okay. Ow. Yeah, maybe, like, are you being a little bit too passive from full screen? I mean, I say that, but also there is definitely the risk of just getting jumped over and killed like that, right? Still, though, I think you do probably have to, especially when you're at those further distances, you probably do still, like, you just have to hold the space, right? It's not like really, like, it's not great for you, but you have to. Because the alternative is letting her just run up into your face. What's going on, Phantom? That's good. I like the preemptive anti-air there. I don't know about jumping at him, honestly. Either. Because, again, she has a very good anti-air, and 2B does as well, right? 2B 5H counter hit slowdown, might be hated. Yeah. This was a good sequence for sure. Caught him. And this whole round was just like, for some reason, every time Senpai woke up, they were just hitting buttons. I like the jump in there over the balls. That was very good. 2B's balls do a very large startup, certainly. Raging Strike again. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. He simply just did not respect this Ferry Oki whatsoever. Or he's trying to leave. There you go. He gets out eventually. Yeah, yeah, I think there's 3 things I want to talk about. 2.5 technically. Once 2 of them could be combined into one item here. Behated? Yeah. That's rough. Why can he laser? I mean, it does use skill gauge. Yeah, he can't do it forever. He is out right there, for example. Yeah, when 2B's out of skill gauge, he's probably gonna try and run in and kill you. So, or do either or he's gonna sit there and like really try to play it slow to get it back, right? But you can't really play a balanced game when there's no skill gauge on the table. I have something I have to ask you about the Voss versus 2B matchup because this damn Robo Lady is stacked in many ways. Yes. Yeah, okay. So I think that's about it. There's a couple of things I want to mention here, right? The first thing I already kind of casual masters, grandmaster player bullying as rank. So there's a couple of things I want to bring up here. Firstly, I already brought this up a couple of different times, but I just want to reiterate it. Listen, I understand that Ferry doesn't really get any sort of damage in the mid screen unless you Raging Strike. I get that. I just feel like, man. Every now and then, 2B is just going to dash in on you or jump in on you, and it's going to take 30 frames to get there from full screen, and you're going to really wish you had those Brave points. I don't play Ferry. I have now started playing a pseudo-zoner in Eustace. I will tell you, though, coming from the perspective of someone who plays a lot of characters that really want to get in on zoners, when Ferry spends Brave points, I'm like, hallelujah, right? And if that's making me happy, you probably don't want to do it. Brave counter is so important for you. So spending especially in a matchup like this, where keeping 2B out for long periods of time is just going to be difficult. And she's almost certainly going to get in at least once or twice. So I would recommend that you Brave counter basically exclusively in this matchup, like Raging Strike maybe as like a jump scare option. but I'm not so sure about spending your BC on Raging Strike. That doesn't seem like a great idea to me. Again, coming more so from the perspective of, if I were fighting you and you did that, I'd be like, yo, this is awesome. And you probably don't want me to feel that way. You want me to feel like, God, I hate it here. Yeah, also getting BC'd by zoners, like spending all that time getting in and then getting BC'd is annoying, and that's what you want to do. As a zoner, you want to annoy your opponents. It's literally your design. So, the other thing is sort of in that same... All three of these kind of fall under the umbrella of like, hey, this person, like this lady is scary and you don't want to be here. You want to keep your distance from 2B almost all the time unless you have, like, some GG Oki, I guess, right? The other thing is, like, you're jumping in on him an awful lot, I think. I know you're probably trying to do it to be unpredictable, and I get that, and that's not a bad idea, but, like, it should probably be a little bit less in the mix. 2B has a very good anti-air, and again, jumping at her is just... You want to try and keep the distance as much as you possibly can, right? Can Ferry get GG or any pressure after BC? After counter hit BC hard knockdown, she can, yeah. She can toss Ferry right away, and it's meaty, I think. On regular BC, I don't believe so. At the very least, it's not guaranteed. If they have like a quick, like a Belial far H or something could hit her on regular BC. But yeah, so that is one other thing. Like jumping at them, I'm not so sure about this. The last thing, sort of in the same vein, is like there were times where you had the full screen and you were a little bit too passive. It happens near the end here too, for example, right? I think when they jump scare running on you from the full screen, yeah, right. Like I understand that you have. I guess it's a little bit different here because you have this on you, right? Yeah, never mind. That's a bad example. But there certainly were times where you had like big distance from Senpai Spider and you just stood there and you let him dictate pace. As scary as it might be, and for example, you tried to not dictate pace the one time, or to dictate pace the one time you got counter hit 5H. I get that. But you have to be the person controlling the pace of the match, right? Because otherwise, like, as a zoner, you have to be able to slow the opponent down or you just die. So you have to be a little bit more proactive, I think, with, like, sticking out buttons and holding the space. Overall, honestly, I think you probably played this pretty well, considering everything, right? It's probably a bad matchup. Senpai's very good at 2B as well, right? I think overall you probably did a good job, but still, I would say those three things, saving your brave points for BC, not quite jumping at him quite as often like you did right there, and being a little, like, right here, right? Yep. Being a little bit more proactive and holding space and not closing distance necessarily, right? Why do you want to close distance there? Like from here, this is a pretty rough spot for Senpai. He's like basically almost on chip, right? And he's got to deal with you. You jump in on him, you make his life easier. And now once again, he backdashes away. He's now back in full screen like this. I mean, he can laser, I guess, but that's not exactly going to be he can only do that so many times, and it's not, exactly a kill shot, right? So this is a pretty rough spot for him. You can like close a little distance and like far H or something, and then. Right? Then you do this. Why? Like, you win here. I get it. But, like, all this did was, like, now there's a world. Like, now he could actually, if 5M didn't get, he was doing the pre-nerf 5M hits you here, straight up. Right? So, like, yeah, like, if 5M wasn't nerfed right here, I think you lose this and probably die on this very hit. It's because they nerfed the horizontal reach on 2B's 5M that you live here. Getting that close, all it did was give him a way back in. It gave him a chance. Do your best. Again, we talked about this with Zoe Vera earlier too, right? A couple days ago, well, a couple weeks ago, I suppose. Where it was like, make the situation as unfair for your opponents as you possibly can. Give them the least chance of interacting and winning as you can possibly do, and that's not going to do that. Neither is closing distance when you are Ferry and they're 2B. Right. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for this first replay review right there. Interesting, right? Very interesting two replays, I think. Got a chance to talk about some stuff that we don't quite talk about as often, right? It wasn't just the triangle of offense again with frame traps and throws and throw baits. But yeah, we'll do 30 more minutes of replay on the stream here. But first, let me just send the VOD watchers on their way. Give them hell. So true. But yeah, so VOD watchers, hi. Hope you had a good time with the video. If you did, any kind of like, subscribes, comments, bells, all that good stuff helps out a lot. You know how it be. I also do stream every day from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern, except for Friday, so come by and hang out. I also have a Discord, link in the description. You're looking at it right here. If you want to post replays or otherwise, just hang out, get some matches, make some friends, then I encourage you to join. It's a nice place. But if you do join, be nice or I'll shoot you in the head in Minecraft. Most important. Hope you had a good time hanging out today, as always. I know I sure did. Yeah, interesting replay reviews, fun time, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.